Have you ever tried to relax and somehow ended up feeling guilty for it? You finally stop working, you sit down, you go to the beach, you try to enjoy the moment, and your brain immediately opens a staff meeting. I used to deal with this a lot. I would go to the beach to take a break, and instead of relaxing, I would start thinking about everything I should be doing for my coaching business. I should be creating content. I should be building something. I should be doing something productive. Because sitting there wasn't growing the business. Apparently the ocean had a terrible return on investment. So my body was at the beach, but my mind was still at work. And that meant time off really never felt like time off. It felt like I was wasting time, falling behind, not doing enough. And if you know that feeling, it is exhausting. Because even when you're not working, you are still being judged by the voice in your head. You should be doing more. You haven't earned this break. You can relax after everything's finished, which is convenient because everything is never finished. So if you've been wondering, why can't I relax without feeling guilty? It may not be because you're bad at resting. It may be because anxiety has tied your worth to productivity. And once that happens, rest starts to feel like failure. In this video, I'm going to break down why this happens, why your brain keeps pushing you to work, and how to relax without feeling like you're letting your whole life fall apart. Here's what is usually happening underneath the guilt. Your brain has started connecting productivity with safety. If I am working, I am moving forward. If I am moving forward, I am less likely to fail. So work stops being something you do. It starts becoming proof that you are okay, proof that you are responsible, proof that you are not falling behind, proof that you are still in control, which puts a lot of pressure on answering emails. And once your brain makes that connection, rest starts to feel dangerous. Because if you are not working, you are not producing. If you are not producing, you must be losing ground. That is how anxiety turns a break into a threat. You're sitting on the couch. Your brain is acting like the company is collapsing. And for ambitious people, this can even get stronger because you care about your goals. You want to build something. You do not want to waste your potential. But anxiety takes that ambition and turns it into constant pressure. Now every quiet moment feels like a missed opportunity. Every break feels undeserved. And every person who seems ahead of you becomes evidence that you should be working harder. So much for relaxing. But here's the real problem. When your worth depends on output, you can never do enough to feel secure because there's always another task, another goal, another person doing more. So the issue is not that you need to become better at relaxing. The issue is that your brain has confused rest with risk. And until that changes, stopping will keep feeling wrong. And this is where rest gets completely ruined. You are finally not working. But now you're trying to relax correctly. You should feel calm. You should enjoy the moment. You should stop thinking about work. And apparently you are failing at that too. So now rest becomes another performance, another thing to measure, another thing to judge, another thing you are not doing well enough. You sit down to watch something, but you keep checking your phone. You go out with someone, but half your mind is still working. You take a day off, but spend the whole day thinking about what you should be doing instead. Technically a day off, emotionally an unpaid shift. And then you finish the break feeling just as tired as when it started. Because your body stopped, but your mind never did. That is not real rest. That is work anxiety in a different location. Same pressure, better scenery. And the guilt creates another trap. You tell yourself you will relax once you've earned it. After you finish the project, after you catch up, after you finally feel ahead. But that finish line keeps moving because anxiety does not reward completion. It immediately finds the next thing, the next task, the next goal, the next reason you should not stop yet. So if you wait until everything is handled before you relax, you may spend your whole life waiting for permission that never comes. And that is why you have to learn how to rest before everything is finished. So how do you relax when your brain keeps telling you to work? First, stop waiting to feel completely caught up. That moment is probably not coming. There will always be another email, another task, another idea, Another thing pretending it cannot survive until tomorrow. So you have to choose a stopping point. Not because everything is finished, but because you are finished for now. That distinction matters. You are not abandoning your responsibilities. You are setting a boundary around them. Work gets a place in your life. It does not get every place in your life. The second thing is to name the guilt instead of obeying it. When that voice says you should be working, do not immediately get up. Do not open the laptop. Do not treat the guilt like a command. It is a feeling, not your manager. You can say, I feel guilty because I'm resting, but resting is still the right choice. This is how you stop letting discomfort make every decision. And the third thing is give rest a purpose, not a productivity purpose, a human purpose. You rest because your mind needs space, your body needs recovery, and your life needs moments that are not measured by output. Otherwise, you are just a very anxious machine with a calendar. Rest is not something you earn after proving your worth. It is part of what keeps you functioning. And no, you do not have to become perfectly relaxed. You may still think about work. You may still feel some guilt. That does not mean the break is failing. It means you are practicing, not obeying the pressure. Stay at the beach, finish the dinner, watch the movie, take the walk. Let the guilt make noise without letting it run the moment. It can complain from the passenger seat. It does not get the steering wheel. Because every time you rest without rushing back to work, you teach your brain something new. Stopping is uncomfortable, but it is not dangerous. And your worth does not disappear just because you're not producing. This is how rest starts slowly feeling like rest again. So if you cannot relax without feeling guilty, I want you to remember this. The guilt does not prove you should be working. It may just prove that your brain is used to measuring your value by your output. And that is a brutal way to live. Because you can finish the task, hit the goal, get more done, and still feel like you have not earned the right to stop. Anxiety is generous like that. It gives you the pressure and then refuses to give you the finish line. But your life cannot be one long list of things you should be doing. You need moments that do not build the business, do not increase your income, do not improve your resume, and do not produce anything. They still matter because your life is not valuable only when you are productive. And rest is not failure. It is part of being human. My name is Vinnie Merz, and I'm a high-performance anxiety coach. I help ambitious professionals stop anxiety from sabotaging their success, their confidence, and their peace of mind. And if you cannot sit at the beach, spend time with the people you love, or take one evening off without feeling guilty, that is not just a busy schedule. That is a pattern. And if you do not deal with it, anxiety will keep turning every break into another place to feel behind. This is exactly the kind of thing we can work through in coaching, because the work is not just learning how to take the day off. It is understanding why stopping feels unsafe, why your worth has become tied to what you produce, and how to build enough trust in yourself that rest no longer feels like failure. If you want help with that, you can schedule a free 30-minute strategy session with me. The link is in the description. We will look at what is driving the pattern, what keeps repeating, and whether coaching is the right fit. Because you should be able to live your life without feeling guilty every time you stop working.